Today, I'm going to show you how to make your own AI blogging automation system to publish content automatically, and that can actually make you money. Now, what this system will do is it will use a Claude AI to automatically come up with highly monetizable keywords. Then it goes through a series of steps to automatically write the content and publish it right to WordPress, all on its own, which is pretty incredible, you know, considering when I started my blog back in 2019, I had to write every single word myself. When I hired a writer, then it cost me like hundreds of dollars per article. And now I can do it automatically. And some of these systems have grown my blog traffic over 400% in 2024. So with these strategies, you can make thousands of dollars a month with ad revenue and affiliate revenue. So I'm going to show you the full process right now. I'm also going to share some custom AI frameworks with you. If you're interested and you want those, make sure to click the link in the description below. I'll send you my top 5 AI prompts and my free AI masterclass so you can get started once and for all. All right, let's get into it. All right, we are in make.com. Make.com is a automation tool. So when we think about AI is artificial intelligence giving us the information, and then automation itself is really about stringing things together to make things happen automatically. Makes sense. So make.com is probably the best visual platform for this. So this looks kind of complicated. What this is doing is it is using Airtable as a data source, and then it is creating an outline, it is creating a full article, it is creating image generation with DALL-E 3, and then it is putting it into a Google Doc, back into the spreadsheet, and then right into WordPress, publishing it. So I'm going to show you this one step at a time, because it's actually, this was like completely foreign to me recently. I'm not like the smartest tool in the shed, whatever the saying is. So most videos on automation will oversimplify it, and I think it's really important to know that there is human input needed at certain key moments of this process. Namely at the beginning, when we're giving it the keywords we want it to create content on, and then at the end. So we can't just use like an RSS feed or something kind of random to just come up with random automated AI content. That doesn't necessarily work. What we need to do is take it a step further. Now to do that, we want to choose the actual direction, the keywords that we're going to put in here first. So to do that, what I have is an AI niche hunter tool. You can get this by entering your email address in the link in the description. But what this does is you put in basically your niche. So you think about a niche, what you want to cover, and then it'll give you 5 sub niches, and then within that it'll give you 20 keywords. So I'm going to say that my niche is smart home devices. Smart home devices is my main niche. And then it'll say, okay, if I want to create content on that, here's 5 kind of categories of content that I would create it in. So there's things like smart home security, obviously, smart lighting, smart home entertainment, smart climate control, smart home hubs, and home assistants. So from there, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to do smart home security. And then from there, it'll give me 20 keywords and kind of a content cluster of helpful content. I trained it to be helpful content that is good for SEO. So best, you know, smart home security systems, motion sensors for home security, smart locks, Ring versus Nest versus Arlo, pet-friendly smart security. And then another way to do it is use a tool like machine.ai. So I could create a cluster on like smart home security. And I want to be known for that. My audience is homeowners interested in smart home. And I can go autopilot. I could do, let's do a cluster of 10 articles just for this exercise. And then I'll create the cluster itself. And then you can see it all populates in here. Smart home security, automation, alarms, cameras, features, solutions, monitoring, all that. So this is another tool that can write it, but we're going to do it separately. So I'm going to say, let's do, you know, smart home security installation as a keyword. We want to have that one. So, all right, let's go back. So we have a good content strategy. We want to really dominate one sub niche with like 10 to 20 keywords. That's kind of how we want to start. We want to realize that we can have informational posts for ad revenue and then transactional posts for affiliate revenue. Today's video is brought to you by Cadence WP. So we all know that AI has made content creation much easier than doing everything yourself, but it doesn't just stop at creating content. You also can use AI to build a WordPress website, and Cadence AI makes it easy with an automated design library and AI content editing tools. So it's simple, and you can get customized copy and images for your site. So you just plug in your details into Cadence AI, you pick your favorite design, and they do the rest for you. Copy, images, all of that. So their design library and AI content tools are included in their essentials and their full bundles. So if you want to get access to Cadence WP at an exclusive discount, make sure to click the link in the description below. It's what we teach all of our blog growth engine students to use, and it's the best theme for WordPress, especially with their AI functionality, and they come fully recommended by me. Now let's get back to the make.com automation. So here is how this works. This is a left to right timeline. So it starts over here with these 2 webhooks, and then it goes all the way to the right with this tools, Airtable, outline, JSON, creating the content all the way to WordPress. Now, if you haven't used make.com before, it can be a little bit intimidating. I mean, like I said, I have never used it that much. It's its own kind of platform, but it's actually not that difficult. You just have to understand some key concepts. So for example, when you click on one of these, each one of these individual things is a module. This is called a scenario. So we're building a scenario. Now it only runs if you click this, run once, and it'll run the scenario. Or you can schedule it. So you can schedule the scenario as well. If you don't press it and you don't do anything, no action is taken, it will not run. So you don't have to worry about it. Now each of these individual circles here, you can zoom in or out, is a module. So if I click in WordPress, for example, we can see that it's connected to my blog. And then based on the type of module it is, it'll give you a set number of different elements that you can edit. This one's actually like the longest one to load sometimes because it pulls a bunch of information from WordPress. So let me cancel that for now. But if we go to Airtable, you can say, all right, it's pulling this types of information. So I'm going to go this piece by piece and show you exactly what it's pulling in from where. When you click into any of the make.com elements here, it'll pull up this entire section that shows every single previous module and every piece of information that you can gather from it. So that's how it's pulling all of this in. So let me walk through this one by one. First of all, this one starts with a webhook. So a webhook is a way of make.com to automate something. So it's kind of like an API, except a webhook is different than an API because a webhook is only it occurs on a one-time action. So for example, a sale occurs, something happens, either there's a web mail type of webhook, a mail hook for email, something happens in an email, or a webhook, which something happens on a website, a button's clicked, a link is gone to. So what this is basically doing, this is the first step. You hit this and you select the webhook and it'll create this link for you. Now this link, this is a hook, this is a make link. It's make.com created this. And what this is doing is this is a custom link that is specific to this one scenario. Every time that this link is clicked, this one scenario will run. This starts the process basically. So what this one does, it's just starting the process. Anytime that this URL, if I were to copy and paste this and hit enter, this whole thing would run. Now this one is not really necessary. This is just closing the window upon hitting the URL. So it's kind of nice to have because it just closes the window when you start the webhook. Now this is status, means it's active. 200, it's kind of like a 404 error. As a website, webhooks have numbers too. So 200 means yes, active. Then it gets into tools. So as you can see here in Make, there's flow control and there's tools and then there's text parsers. So flow control gives you things like router. So you could do two things. So you could start with one module and then it goes here to like Gmail and here to a spreadsheet. So you can do the same early module to two separate areas. So it's kind of splitting the automation in two, or break or ignore or resume. So you're all just kind of using these tools to create this workflow, this process. So this tool, all that this tool is doing, it's delaying. So I just click delay. It delays it 20 seconds because once this hook applies and it's actually coming from this Airtable, it's just, there were some issues with, the data was still being typed in or the link was, not. So this just delays it 20 seconds. That's all it does. Now what Airtable is, it's basically Google Sheets, but a little bit fancier. And what this is doing, Airtable has a base and a table and a record ID. So this is the connection. So everything that you add to make.com is a connection. And you connect it in a number of different ways. It's really simple. I'll show you that too. But a base, if we go to this Airtable, the base is blog post builder. The table is this blog post builder. And then the record is the record ID. So record ID is this. So these are all individual articles that were already been created with this tool. And you can see when you hit generate, this is the webhook link. And then it starts the process, it creates the outline, the completed Google Doc, the image, all of it. Okay, so if we go back to Make, we can see that this is Airtable is syncing now. So it starts the process with Airtable, it's then pulling the record ID. So you can see it's pulling this column. So every data runs in columns, as you probably know. So it's pulling this record ID right here. That's all it's doing. So from there, we have it, Claude Anthropic was connected. So I have API tokens from Claude. So I created a kind of a developer account on Claude and one on OpenAPI for the image. That's pretty simple. I can show you that too. You connect this, you choose the model. So you can choose the older ones, but you want the newer one for Claude. Max tokens, this is like the max that kind of make.com signifies for 4096. And then there's messaging here. So messages, so everything, when you're looking at Make automations, everything in bold is required. Everything that's in bold is required. If it's not in bold, it's not required. So if we go down to like system prompt, this is a little bit of extra information, but it's not required. User ID, not required. So every little module here has slightly different inputs that you can edit. So for example, with Claude AI, the message is you select your role. So is it the user or the assistant? So the user is the human entering the information. The assistant is the actual AI coming back with the output. So for this, I said user, the content type, you choose this is text, and then this is the text. So this is the actual prompt. So this is the task that we gave it. Your task is to create an in-depth, an SEO optimized content outline for a given target keyword. And then I put it here. When you type this in, now that we are to the right of Airtable, we can pull in any information from Airtable. So this is the main target keyword is pulling from main keyword right here. So this is pulling it from this column. So this is that column. You'll also see that make.com puts a number in front of it, 41. That's just the signifying number of this specific module. So I pasted this in, and then it says the outline should include the following elements. So I added, this is a custom AI prompt for an outline generator that I have. That is also included if you click the link in the description. So there's context, and then process. So this is a system prompt. So a system prompt within an AI tool it's a little bit more advanced than a prompt. It's a system prompt that has a process, a context, typically a role, a task, things like that. So it can kind of do the same thing over and over again. So you have that text in. Now, message 2, we had another message for the assistant. We just added this. This is not really required, but I just added this again, just so they know that the keyword to create the outline for is this. Just kind of reinforcing that. Then we have the system prompt, and that is it. Now, the next step in the process is this JSON creator. So what this does is, again, we choose the same settings, Claude 3.5, max tokens is the same. But now what we have is we're gonna organize this data in a certain way. So this is what this is doing. We don't want it to just be random text, like, the AI outputs paragraph text. It's just all the same text usually. So we're going to organize what this text looks like before we're going to put it into a Google Doc. So it's the same thing, except this now is another prompt. So it's a user prompt with text, and it's saying, I want you to take the user input and provide the output in JSON format. Do not include additional backticks. Don't include additional items from JSON, output above, do not include this. And then this is the JSON format that we're using. So again, this is the whole thing. So basically, it has an SEO title, meta description it's gonna have, an introduction, the main body content, the conclusion, and then the user input is the actual text response. So the text response, again, you're an expert JSON formatter, that is that. So then at the end, you'll see like there's arrows. You can just hit a little plus button to hit go next. And you can always look at these, click on these, see what they exist. Once they run, you can click little bubbles to say what they did. We'll show you that. All right, so the next one is now JSON. So this is actually, all it's doing is we click create a data structure, right? And we're using the string text response. That's really it. So it's just creating the text response, putting it into JSON format. Next, now we go to write article. So again, Claude, same thing, tokens, user, text. All right, so next, what we're doing is we're turning this outline that now exists in this format into a conversational main body article using the H2 headings as needed. Do not include a title, intro, or conclusion because we already have that. And then here is the outline. So this is pulling from main body, which is in the JSON. So it's taking all of the main body text. So within JSON, there's the title, and you can see here, there's title, conclusion, intro, meta description. This is just saying, hey, here's the outline. It's the main body format. And then we're going to output it in markdown format. Okay. So at this point, to kind of reconfirm, we've started a process with a webhook by clicking a link. It has been delayed for 20 seconds just to help it work. It then takes Airtable data based on a keyword to generate the outline, turn it into JSON and markdown format. That's where we're at right now. Okay, so now we're going to write the actual article. So again, same settings as before, 3.5, 4,000 tokens, user, text. So if there's messages, there's content, right? And then text. Now we're going to turn this outline into the main body upload format. So that's what we just said. So we're there. Next, we connect Open AI. And when you're making a connection, it's actually helpful. Make that has these like help articles that show you how to do it. And then you can click links to get there. And it says like, all right, here's the API key. So you just create a new secret key, you copy that, you paste it over here in Make, and then it'll automatically connect with your API key and your organization ID. So what we're doing here is we then selected what do we want it to do? Well, we're going to have it create a chat completion module. And this is, we want it to use GPT-4. This is the newest one. We can select from all the old ones. And then again, message with a role. You're an expert image prompt generator. Message 2 is the user generated image prompt for a large language model like yourself based on this keyword. Going back to, again, just create an image from the keyword back here. So the nice thing about Make is like anything that's in front of or ahead of another module can pull data from that module. So, and it's just easy because you can see it. So you start typing here and it just automatically opens this up. So like I could say, yeah, like create an image based on main keyword. Really simple. So it's going to do that. So it's going to create the image based on the keyword. Okay. Now this is the prompt to create the prompt for the keyword. So this is creating the actual prompt. Then we're going to create the actual image. So if I were to run this, I'll just show you. I'm going to run this real quick just to show you the process. So I'm going to do it for like how to build a shed. We already did it, but if I click generate, this, as you saw, it opened the window and closed it. So it started the process of running this. It's going to be running in the background. Now, if I go to scenarios and I go to the actual blog post builder, I have another LinkedIn one here. And you can see it showed up here and it says scenario is running. And what we can see here is scenario is running. And then you have little things over here that you can look at. If you click in it, it'll show you. And you can see the progress it makes as it runs. So I'm just showing you this because you can see, you start to see bubbles and then it shows you exactly what it did. So it says all this information here and the outputs. So you can say, okay, bundle 1, it has a record ID, the base, the table ID, it has a main keyword, completed Google Doc here, images, all of that. So now it's getting to create image. Now you can see the first part, this is kind of the complicated part. The first part is just creating the actual words for the prompt to create the image in the first place. So we're not just saying, hey, create an image based on this keyword. We're creating a prompt to create an image based on the keyword. So the result of this one is just the text output for the image, which says a detailed informative diagram illustrating how to build a shed. In the center, a partially constructed shed surrounded by various tools and machines. So it's a lot better than just saying, hey, create an image based on how to build a shed. It's first creating the prompt to create the image on the shed. And then you can see this is the prompt. The output is in a URL, so then it creates this. Okay, and this is a little thing you can look at. So you can just click these and look at them as they go. All right, after it creates the image, we go to Markdown to HTML. So this is the actual Markdown format that we're going to use, and basically this is what it's going to get into the Google Doc. So it's going to have the SEO title back from all the way back in the JSON, the SEO title right here that I created, the meta description from JSON, the introduction, the text response from writing the article in Claude, and then the conclusion that we already had in JSON as well. So that's the Markdown. This is the format. If you need to stop and pause and like you're doing this in real time or anything, you can just pause the video, look at these different exact settings, and then go from there. All right. And then you can kind of see, you can always, in between connections, you can click, you can unlink, you can add different routers, modules, different things in between. So if I wanted to add a module in between these two, I would just select the little tool thing and click this. So now we have we're almost there, we're almost done. We have the 2 Google Docs, the Airtable to finish the data and then publish to WordPress. All right, now the first Google Doc, you can see what we're gonna do is we're gonna name the Google Doc. So again, if it's bold, it's required. We're gonna name it. So we're gonna name it the main keyword generated article. The content is gonna be HTML. So it's HTML format, very simple. And it's pulling the full HTML file from the Markdown. So now as we get further along, and we're really getting the data where we want it to be, we can start pulling things like it's kind of growing on itself. So we're pulling the Markdown data. And this is the first one, my bad. So that's it. And then you can choose a Google Drive. You can add a folder to it. So this is under, in my Google Drive and make.com blog post builder. It'll add the Google Doc there. Next one is this. So you select the document by dropdown. You choose a drive, your drive. Then you go to the document ID. So this is now selecting what document here are we going to use? And what this is doing, this is, so you can see the notes here. This is creating the document with the full document, with the full text based on this. This is actually adding the image into the document. This is all this one is doing. We had some issues with like the image format was weird if we added it here. Now if we're to click this, we actually can see the image URL right here. We select it, copy, paste, and this is what we get. Pretty nice looking image, I'm not gonna lie, for the prompt that we gave it. Okay, we've got that far. And then the final step is we're gonna update Airtable again. And we're gonna update again. All we're doing in Airtable is we're choosing the base, which is like the file, and then the table itself, which is again, base, table here. The record ID, going back to the very beginning, the record ID is that column in Airtable right here. And then all we're doing is we're adding to the outline, we're adding the text response. So that's just, these are just columns. So outline is a column here. You can see it. So it has the whole text response, the whole thing. Just to have it, you don't need it, but that's just how we're doing it. These are all customized, right? And then the completed Google Doc is the 33 web view link from the original Google Doc that we talked about. That's the one that you click on. So you can look through and be like, where the heck would the link be? It's like 33, you can see, you can organize it. So this is actually 64, so that doesn't make sense. 33, there it is. And then where would the completed Google Doc link be? This, web view link, boom, right there. File URL for the image, again, the same as the last one, and then you hit OK. Okay, so we've made it back to Airtable. So what that does is it now has the record ID. It has the main keyword. We're talking about this one right here. It generated it. It has the title, the completed Google Doc. The image is right here, which is nice because you can just view it right in Airtable, and that is it. Its status is generated. So all of the data then goes back to Airtable to update it. And then we have the finished Google Doc format of how to build a shed. Boom. How to build a shed. DIY shed building, a step-by-step guide for 2024. So it's got the meta description, title, the intro, the full content, and the conclusion. Then we can see the other ones I've created, just like this YouTube reaction video ideas. You can just see any keyword I put in, it'll just create the content on. And then if we look at when you run it, when we hit the generate button, so there's two ways to run this with webhooks. You can either just hit run once, press this run once to play it, and it'll do it for any new content in here. So if I were to add like, it creates a record ID automatically, and if I were to add one here and I say how to cook lentil soup, sounds good. Then if you were to click another one, it should create another open one here. Now we can hit generate. Now what this is doing is you can see if I edit this field, all that this is in Airtable is a button that is linking to the hook and the record ID. So this is a URL formula. It's taking the hook from the webhook, the original module, putting it right here and just making it a button so it looks nicer. This could just be a link that you click. It's the same idea. But when I click this, how to cook lentil soup, and I click generate, it is clicking that hook link. So it is starting the process. So I can just click there, it opens, it closes, and it starts the process of creating that content. So then, you know, once Make's running, like you don't have to even go in there and look at it. You just wait. You just wait, you sit here and you wait until the data starts appearing. So again, there's a 20-second delay so that it works. And then we wait for the title, the Google Doc, and everything to go to WordPress. All right, and it's finally done here. And we can see the finished Google Doc. It took about 45 seconds, I would say, to finish it. Mastering lentil soup, a hearty and healthy recipe, guys. Choosing the right lentils, essential ingredients, step-by-step tips, all of that, conclusion. So, and then, you know, I did this one. This one made the most sense for my blog, YouTube reaction video ideas. You generate, you get the Google Doc. You can see it here. And then if we go to my site, you'll see that it just appears as a draft. So back when I did it, it appears as a draft in WordPress. You can click it, and you could just publish it automatically. I don't love the featured image. I would say you can change. What's cool in Make is you can change the temperature, it's called. So you can be like, be more creative or less creative. So for example, here under Claude, like the temperature 0.6. So a higher temperature generates more creative examples. So for example, if I wanted this to be like super creative, I would make it a 1. If I wanted to make it not creative, 0.2. And then you can change the image style, the size, the quality, style, vivid, natural, all of those different things. We could add more into the prompt and make it say, hey, always make it, this type of thing, or this Art Deco style or that style. So it's really cool because you can always change and update all of these things later. But we can see that it has the link, the URL is done. We would just need to drop in the meta description right here. And of course, publish it. So as you can see, there's a lot of steps here, and it's as somebody who's not very technically coding smart, it was very intimidating at first. It felt like I was looking at some foreign language, but if you dive into it, you kind of use these frameworks, it's actually not that bad. And what's nice about it is you can always edit. So like, for example, it has to be pretty good. Like, we don't want it to just be crappy content. For example, if we see this outline part in my actual prompt that you can again get in the description by clicking the link, there's ways that we write this stuff so that it's writing a decent intro. It says write an intro that's engaging with the reader, sets the context, and uses relevant semantic keywords. Use burstiness in the sentences, combine short and long sentences, use human writing, exclamation points, for first person perspectives. We can have it, because sometimes the problem with AI writing is that it's just so vague. In today's digital landscape, it'll say. So we can say eliminate all of those things, make it more human. So what we said is there's two places that we want to have human input. The first one is the actual keyword strategy that we're doing. We don't want to let AI dictate our content strategy or just pull stuff from a random feed. We want to actually create content based on keywords that we want to make money with. And then second, do we just publish this thing as is, like AI content? No, I don't think so. I don't think you would just straight up publish this article. I wouldn't really feel comfortable just publishing this AI article, even if it's pretty good and formatted correctly. I still think we should spend some time humanizing that. So that's coming from, writing from your experience, adding your own take on things, adding your own unique twist on it, writing from yourself, adding some more images in. So those are things that other videos won't really tell you. They'll just say, just publish random stuff from, based on this simple prompt, and just publish it. Well, we want to future-proof our content strategy to realize that, we're building a long-term business here around our content, whether we're doing YouTube videos, blog posts. We want to actually humanize this and make it better. All right, so taking a step back, the keywords that we choose are going to be really important because they're going to dictate how much money we make. So, and if they're too competitive or not. Like, smart home devices might be very competitive. We might say, well, smart home security, like none of these are going to rank. Ultimately, like smart home security systems, that's way too competitive. So what do? Well, we can validate these keywords as well. So the thing that wins in this game of content is going really deep, because we can go really deep on topics really fast. That's going to win as an individual person versus a big media site. A media site can publish a lot of content. We can publish a lot of content in one specific area and go way deeper than them. That builds topical authority, that blankets informational content, different content clusters that we have. And I always think of like a blog post as like a chapter in a book. Google's not going to rank you for having one chapter on one topic. If I just wrote if I want to rank for smart home security systems, I'd need a lot of content on that. So what we do is we want to have two different types of articles. We have, and I have this in here, so like affiliate posts, for example. This gives you 15 informational and 5 affiliate posts. So affiliate posts like best home security systems for large homes, pet-friendly elderly care, and geofencing smart home security systems. Those might be a little bit easier to rank for. Now, one way to validate it, a lot of people use a tool like Ahrefs, where you can see like my site has gone up traffic-wise significantly since I started this AI strategy months ago. You can see the number of articles is going up and then the traffic is going up. So what we can see is, okay, we could put in like best smart home security systems. Well, if I could spell, that would be helpful. Oh my gosh. Systems. All my credits are gone. Then we go to the matching terms tool. We can see, all right, what other ones are there? What's interesting is like once a keyword's in here, because a lot of these things are going to show 0 to 10. It always is. That's the conundrum. How do we go deep? We can limit it and say, only show me things that are easier to rank for. And it's nothing. Interesting. What if I just put in smart home security systems? Right? It's going to show you like barely any search volume. Are you telling me only 90 people search for best home security systems? Or that 10 people search for some of these? The problem is, once a keyword appears in Ahrefs and it's at like 50 or more or 100 searches, sometimes it's almost too late to even rank for that. So we want to pick things that are like not that competitive. So what is competitive? Well, things that are really competitive that are going to be tough are things that Forbes would write, things that a big media site would write. So like business, finance, software, and tech, like really popular technology. Like Rolling Stone has articles about the best blenders and stuff like that, right? Air purifiers, things that are really common. What's less competitive in this strategy is I would really go into hobbies. Hobby niches are going to dominate this strategy. So like tennis, kayaking, pickleball, fishing, ice fishing, skateboarding, paintball guns, knitting, crocheting, all of hobbies, woodworking, gardening, all of that kind of stuff is way less competitive. Forbes isn't writing stuff about gardening really. So the old school way is just you put in like best plus the niche. So like best kayak. And then you can see, actually, okay, the keyword difficulty is a lot lower. 3. Way easier to rank for kayaking than smart home devices. Kayaks actually might even be more expensive than some. Probably not, but you never know. So best signifies buyer intent. Sometimes though, this isn't enough. You can't just do only like best articles. We need these really condensed content clusters with certain keywords in them. So if I wanted to rank for best kayak, making me a ton of affiliate revenue, because I can see the main, monetization path of affiliate revenue is looking at like what Outdoor Gear Lab does here, 7 best kayaks, going to affiliate links. So affiliate monetization is just way better than ad revenue. You can make a lot more, it's just a little bit more competitive. Now, if I wanted to rank for the best kayaks to make affiliate revenue, I would need to create a lot of informational kayaks and have really tight content clusters for topical authority around kayaks. So I would have transactional posts about the best kayaks, the best sit-on-top kayaks, the best fishing kayaks, the best two-person kayaks, the best sit-in kayaks, the best kayaks for being with my dog, for babies, for whatever. And we find those, and we can find some of those in Ahrefs just by looking at the matching terms tool and seeing what keywords include the word best in kayak. That's true, so there's a lot. Fish Finder, all the products you can write about. But then when we think about like what's the informational intent behind kayaks, like what are people searching for? Well, we can do how plus kayak, and then we can see how to kayak, how to paddle, how much does it weigh, and you just get a really solid strategy here by using this. We can also just do use this. Let's do a different sub niche, kayaks, and it'll just create different informational keywords that we can write. So you really want to think like when you're creating a content plan for this whole thing in automation, we get the automation set up, but then what do we feed it? Well, if we're talking about a certain niche like kayaks, what is most helpful to the end reader? Well, what would be the most helpful is like the best products. So like this, the best gear and accessories, how to do it. So like techniques for beginners, different types of kayaks, the destinations and trip planning, so where you'd actually go, and then taking care of it. So that's kind of a perfect strategy with those 5 sub niches. That's what I would cover. That could be true of ATVs, fishing, golfing, whatever it is, right? So you want to cover the products in the niche, how to do stuff in the niche, and a few other ancillary categories. Now, if I were to pick one like kayaking techniques and skills, I would just paste that in, and then we can see that it will give us some keyword ideas that are 15 informational. So yeah, kayaking for beginners, kayak forward stroke techniques, bracing techniques, navigation skills, safety techniques, rolling techniques, rescuing, best paddles, advanced stroke. So all of these go way deeper on a topic. And like Google said, hey, you shouldn't write every single article to rank perfectly on Google. So I guarantee you that some of these might show, like kayak rolling technique, it's probably going to show you a 0 in Ahrefs, but guess what? People are searching for this stuff. So you go deep, you have a full content plan where you have 5 content pillars. You start with 1, creating 20 articles on one individual sub niche, feeding that into a tool, automating it, and then humanizing the content. And as you can see, there's multiple ways to monetize. So like my site, mainly monetized through affiliate marketing. I've made $1 million through affiliate marketing 3 years in a row from one website. You can see the total amount of revenue I've made. This is just one affiliate network partner stack. You can see I made $932,000 from Thinkific, 148 from LearnWorlds, Livestorm, Surfer, Nextiva, Unbounce, all of these down the list. So a lot of individual, a lot of money just through that one affiliate network. I'm in 287 affiliate programs. I have another video on my channel showing, 287 affiliate programs. And then also like ads. So if you're going to rank a bunch of easy informational content, which is the AI is a lot better at, you should monetize it with ads, just simple banner ads, Mediavine. So I just started Mediavine up again, and I'm making like $50 a day. So like $52 a day based on 6,800 sessions, about a $7 RPM. So $50 a day, month to date. I started it in like the middle of the month right here. And you can see it the revenue is growing because it was like filling the banner. Now it's actually going up. So it's probably, even at like, let's say $40 a day on average, that's about $1,200 a month just for all the random informational articles that were easy to rank for. So that's pretty good. I mean, making $50 a day just to turn a quick thing on that I wasn't doing is pretty easy. And one other thing you can do is like you can monetize one article in 3 different ways. So let me show you that. For example, here's my article on the best AI social media tools. So it is an affiliate article because it recommends tools. We go through, then we go down, we realize there are ads. So we can see this is Mediavine ads. They add it to a sticky sidebar and then to the bottom as well. So there's ads here making ad revenue. There can be affiliate links to the actual products in the list. And then if I go to exit the page, boom. Now this is being monetized via my own products. So we have product links, we have ads, and we have affiliate links all in one specific piece of content. So ultimately we have AI as one piece of the puzzle and then automation as the second piece of the puzzle. So if we can use AI prompts to help us with our content strategy and publish content a lot faster, you've seen that once I create a keyword in here, it creates it in about 45 minutes, pushes it right to WordPress. I can then take that, I can edit it, and I can probably publish content very, very quickly. And volume is the name of the game right now. If we're going up against bigger media sites and other bloggers, we have to have the best possible AI frameworks and the best automation that actually works. So not just pasting a bunch of random AI crap on the internet, but using automation, using AI in the right way with the real business strategies behind it. So if you're interested in this, if you want to learn more, if you want help with automations, if you want to access our community, make sure to click the link in the description below. You'll get access to my 5 AI prompts and the full AI blogging masterclass that you can get started once and for all. And then it'll allow you, if you want to join us, into our community AI Income Blueprint, which was formerly Blog Growth Engine. We have the calendar tab, all the live events going on. Look at all these live events that are happening every single week as we're going through the live course. We have Q&As, we've got the classroom tab, we have our different AI frameworks, all the old legacy content too, like Blog Growth Engine 4.5 is just in here, and it's like 40 hours probably of just helpful content. So yeah, we've got 4,200 students in here. We're all engaging, interacting, helping each other out. So I hope you found this video useful. I'm going to talk more about automations, but actually using them in the right way, not just trying to trick people into saying this is so easy, everyone should do it, but actually using the business principles behind it by saying, we should actually dictate the strategy at the beginning, use AI and automation, and then dictate the strategy at the end to monetize content in the right way. So I hope you liked the video. Please like it. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Check out other videos on my channel, subscribe, and I will see you in another video.